Go for it, Robin.
Yep. While we get set up here, I'm sure Nick would like to remind everyone that there are 65 days until the 2020 U.S. presidential election. If you are an American living in Canada and haven't registered to vote yet, feel free to go to vap.gov for the Federal Voting Assistance Program. Coach, how you doing today?
Good, Robin. How are you?
We are good. We are all set here, so we're going to start off with a question from Doug Smith from the Toronto Star.
Hello, Nick. How are you today?
Good, Doug. You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, I guess. Tiring week, obviously. Can you sort of walk us through the last 48 hours and what the mood fluctuations, the emotional times that you've gone through as a team?
Yeah, Doug. It was obviously a different scene, for sure, right? The games not being played, the uncertainty of that, a big group meeting, waiting game, a lot of emotion, around the incident, a lot of emotion around the meetings and the talks, and then then you come back and decide that you're going to play, and kind of getting your head back around that, and then trying to figure out when that was going to be. Again, so there was, as you know, there was a lot of stuff happening. That was a lot of kind of hurry up and wait, and sitting around and evaluating your thoughts and emotions and stuff too. So it's about as best as I can describe it. That's probably how you figured it was, and that's how it was.
How has it been to try to get your head around basketball again, given the significance of everything else?
It's been a little bit, Doug. I mean, it felt again like another restart almost. It's like you haven't played a game for a while, and now you haven't practiced for a while, and you go back and you're just working on passing and catching the ball and dribbling a little bit, and just kind of getting the cobwebs out. And I think it took a while, to be honest with you. It took almost, I'd say, three-fourths of a practice before it kind of felt like we kind of were moving okay, and we're zeroed in on basketball a little bit. But all understandable stuff, right? But that's just kind of what was going on.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Dick. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good day, Doug.
You too.
Next, we're going to Eric Kareen from The Athletic.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking the time this morning. How many individual conversations have you had with your players in the last few days since we last talked to you? And is there any individual concern about returning to play from any of your guys?
Really good question, Eric. I'd say several conversations. Multiple players' concerns, and there was some concern, and it was and a lot of it. Some of it was even historical too. Like got to this point again where the play stopped, and guys were saying I didn't want to come in the first place. Like stuff they didn't express to you before, and just kind of getting through all that, Eric, and you guys have known that my stance on the whole thing is that I think playing these games certainly gives our guys a much better platform for social justice and any cause or how big a part they want to be in it, and that was kind of the conversations that I had individually, and I expressed to the team that in all reality, we only really request their attention for a couple hours a day, and the rest of the day they can do whatever they want, and then they get a chance to earn a living and support their families on top of that, and they have a platform to do that with. So that's one of the basis of a lot of the conversations were, Eric.
I appreciate that. On a different note, how's Kyle doing?
He's okay, Eric. He's gone through practice today. Looked okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Michael Grange from Sportsnet.
Hi, Nick. Obviously, the circumstances pretty dramatic and intense the last few days. I'm wondering just the amount of time you guys have been in Florida now, maybe exacerbated some of that. Not that they needed to be exacerbated, but it just maybe a bit of an all at once type thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that has that much to do with it. I think, Michael, I've been hearing around the bubble that bubble life is becoming a thing, that peeps, there's a lot of teams that are feeling it or whatever. I don't really sense that from our guys, which is great. I mean, I'm being completely honest with you. I think our guys are very, very good. I mean, listen, it was rough, but as far as in general, I think everybody went through that for 3 or 4 days, but I think in general, we still have a really good attitude about being here and the mission we're trying to accomplish.
Appreciate that, Nick. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, Michael.
You too.
Next, we're going to Stephen Lung from Sportsnet.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this as always. I was just wondering, like, within like the 3 kind of initiatives in the plan for this like second restart, one of them is using team facilities potentially used as a voter as an area for people to vote. Obviously, the Raptors are in Canada, so I was just wondering, like, if you've had any discussions to make that happen for the U.S. On your side here.
Well, we're certainly in a different situation, Stephen, and we're really trying hard to, as Rovin mentioned at the start of this press conference, is that we're trying hard to target the U.S. citizens living in Canada. We think there's 650,000 plus. We know that only 30-some thousand of them, around 5%, voted in the last election. We know that the VAP.gov folks are really happy that we're helping. They're getting a lot of action. They're excited to have us helping. We're trying to do that. I mean, that's a ridiculous number. 30-some thousand out of 650,000 plus is mind-boggling, right? So we're trying to help with that. I don't see any as far as our arena and stuff. There's just not any. It doesn't really fall into the plans, right? However, it doesn't stop me from trying to get, at least one of the former arenas I was a D-League coach in Iowa, where I'm from, opened, and making that call, and some of our players may be trying to do the same in their local areas too. So we're working on it.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Steve.
Next question goes to Vivek Jacob from Complex Canada.
Hey, Nick, thanks for doing this and making the time. So much of this stoppage has been about how everyone can do more. I'm just wondering what that thought process has been like for you individually. Obviously, getting voters out has been something that's been a big passion of yours, but what have the last few days been like in terms of your self-reflection and thinking in terms of how you can do more?
Well, I think, Vivek, it's a good question, and there's a lot of things. I mean, I feel even from the start, really, of even before this, Vivek, like I see one of my primary roles is to have these guys impact their local communities. It's something that I've researched and studied, and I'm continuing to research and study the impact that these guys can have in their local communities. I really, really think that is important, that we can help our players understand how big an impact they can have, help our players organize that plan of action, et cetera. So that's one of the main things I think that I'm always very cognizant of and pushing. It's part of the reason I started my own foundation, is so I can learn about how to teach these guys how to do their own in their own communities. one of the benefits of doing it. And just one other thing too, I just think that, again, and this is more in general, I think that preparing these guys for life after basketball, so that they're prepared to continue to make impact, even maybe if their platform shifts or diminishes a little bit, but they're still prepared to continue to work as teachers, as coaches, as mentors, as businessmen, whatever it is, that we continue to prepare them to be lifelong learners and lifelong impactors in their local communities.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yep. Thank you.
Next, we're going to say good morning to Tim Bontemps from ESPN. Tim, are you there?
Yep. Sorry, I had a bit of a snafu. I don't think I've ever heard you say what your goal is in terms of the number of people that you want to try to get to, as far as the number of people voting in Canada. I know, like, the numbers are pretty crazy, like you said. Do you guys have a goal that you're trying to reach beyond obviously just trying to get as many people as possible? Is there like a,
650,000 is our goal, Tim. You there?
Hold on a second. I think I had to move him. Hold on one second. Sorry, we got Tim back here. Sorry, my apologies.
Hi, Tim.
that's all I was asking. I was just curious what
Yeah,
the
no,
number
I just, no, Tim, we don't have a specific goal. I mean, I think that we're just trying to get as many as possible, and hopefully, Tim, at the end of this, you're going to see a big rise in it, that this really impacted people. We still got a lot of work to do, and we are doing it. I know we're airing the second of our third PSAs on the television stations during the games tomorrow up in Canada. So, we have had, got some traction, and we're getting some platform, and we're getting some airtime, and I think we're like a lot of people, we're getting a message out there in this voting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we go to Kayla Gray from TSN.
Hi, Coach. Hope you're doing well. As you hear Levi in the background. You talked about how you can help players be effective in their roles. I'm wondering, when you talk about being an ally on your platform as a coach, obviously representation is still an issue at the NBA when it comes to Black coaches. I'm wondering if you've reflected on ways that you can show up as an ally in that regard.
Yeah, for sure, Kayla. I don't think that my ally, being an ally just applies to our players. It certainly applies to my staff, right? I think again, one of the things that's really, really important to me is that I provide opportunities for growth and provide opportunities, period, for my staff so that they can reach their goals. It's something we talk about all the time. What can I do to make them better? What can I do to put them in position to elevate their value in the marketplace, et cetera. And you're right, there's tons of things, well, there's quite a few things, working hard, talking with other executives, talking to people around the league about potential former players, potential former WNBA players that may make good coaches or that are interested in coaching. A lot of things like that, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, last two questions for you, Coach. First one is going to Aaron Rose from SI.com.
Hey, Nick. Sort of broad question for you, but I'm wondering if there's a moment or an anecdote you'd feel comfortable sharing with us about something maybe you learned in a conversation or something over the past few days.
Well, I've been in quite a few meetings, Aaron, and I've learned a lot, to be honest with you. I don't really know if I have a story I want to share. I mean, the main one is, again, I continue to get personal stories from our players about incidences they've been through themselves with law enforcement officers, which are personal and disheartening and disappointing. That's probably what I'd like to share with you there.
Thank you.
Yep.
And final question is going to Chris O'Leary from Raptors.com.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes. Thanks, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. I feel like the world kind of took notice of the last 48 hours with what the NBA did, and then other sports leagues followed suit. When you're inside the bubble and everything is just sort of stopped sports-wise, do you feel the magnitude of what you were a part of?
I mean, I think so on some level. It's not, I think, Chris, it's not unlike, we are, I mean, they keep using this term bubble, but even when we're not here and we're playing in normal, we're still in somewhat of, a bubble. You kind of got to create a little bit of that to focus. You're not, I mean, I'm not anyway. I'm not on social media listening to what's happening and things like that. So I don't think you're aware, but I don't think you're totally aware of the impact that it's having all over the place. I thought it was awesome that the other sports joined in. I really do. I think it was a great show of I don't know, class and support and whatever, especially MLB and WNBA and NHL. That was great. So I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things that's probably going to take a little bit of time to sink in, and looking back on it, see what magnitude it was coming at when you're kind of in the middle on the ground of it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, that's all we have for you this morning, Coach.
Okay, Rovin, thanks a lot.
No problem. We will see you at 11:45 tomorrow.
I will be there. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, friends.